Howdy guys, welcome back. Today we're going to go over a very interesting topic. This topic is going to be contrasting Jesus, the Son of God, the Son of the Father, and Barabbas, the one that the chief priests, the Sadducees, all cried out to be saved, to be released, and the one they cried out to be crucified. Now we're going to start in Luke 23, verses 18 to 21. Well, let's start at verse 17. For of necessity he, Pilate, must release one unto them at the feast. This was a thing that Pilate did every year at the feast. He would release a prisoner to the people, kind of as a token of goodwill type thing. And they cried out all at once, saying, Away with this man, and release unto us Barabbas, who for a certain sedition made in the city, and for murder, and was cast into prison. Pilate therefore, willing to release Jesus, spake again to them. But they cried, saying, Crucify him, crucify him. And he said to them, Why, what evil hath he done? I have found no cause of death in him. Now, so the people cry out for Barabbas to be released. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Barabbas, every Hebrew name has a meaning. And if you recall in earlier in the Gospels where Jesus is talking to Peter, he's called, Peter's real name is called Simon Bar Jonah. Bar means son. Look at Barabbas' name. Bar Abbas. Bar is son, Abbas is father. His literal name is Son of the Father. Okay? Which means he is so much, probably so much like his father that that would end up being the name that they called him. Barabbas, Son of the Father. Now Barabbas, we need to look at some things before I get to that. Let's go to Mark 1:11. We're going to look at Jesus. And there came a voice from heaven saying, Thou art my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. And immediately the Spirit driveth him into the wilderness. This was Jesus, God speaking of Jesus, the Father speaking of Jesus, my beloved Son. Now let's go to John 14, verse 8. And Philip said unto him, this is one, by the way, this is one of my favorite verses in the Bible. I love this verse right here. Philip said unto him, Lord, show us the Father, and it sufficeth us. Show us the Father, show us God. Watch what Jesus says. Jesus says unto him, Have I been so long a time with you, and yet thou not know me, Peter, or Philip? I've been with you all this time, and you still don't recognize me? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou, Show us the Father? Believest thou not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me. He doeth the works. Believe in me, that I am in the Father, and the Father in me. Or else believe me for the very work's sake. So, Jesus is the Son of the true Father, Son of the Father of heaven. Now let's look at some things here, what we just covered in Luke 23. Barabbas is a murderer, and I believe in John it says he is a thief. So he's a thief and a murderer. Barabbas took life. He took innocent life. Now let's go to Peter 2:22. 2:22. Now let's look at Jesus. Let's look at 2:21 first. For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow in his steps, who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. Who when he was reviled, reviled not again. When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously, who his own self bore our sins in his own body on the tree, that we, being dead to sins, should live unto righteousness, by whose stripes ye are healed. So Jesus sinned not, was perfect, never called out, even when falsely claimed. Let's go to Hebrews 4:15. For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, for it was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. Jesus was tempted in all things, yet is perfect without sin. Now let's go to Mark 10:45. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Barabbas took life. Jesus gave life. He gave life. And I want y'all to, this is just a side note. Whenever Jesus touches somebody in healing them in the New Testament, in the Gospels, when he touches somebody to heal them of leprosy, when he touches a withered hand, when he touches the dead body of the son or Lazarus and heals them, that was insane to do by the vision of the high priest. Because to touch one of these people, they're unclean. That would make you ceremonially unclean. Okay? Jesus touches them, and instead of their uncleanness, their iniquities and everything that makes them unclean, coming unto him, it's the opposite. Life flows out of him and cleanses them. Now let's go to John 8:44. John 8:44. Now this is Jesus talking to the Pharisees and stuff who were trying to kill him. And listen to what he says. This is very interesting with the case for Barabbas. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth. He was a liar, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. The devil was a murderer from the beginning, a liar from the beginning. Now I want to go to one more thing. Now I want you to remember. Let's go to this last verse. John 10:10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd that giveth his life for the sheep. Jesus came to give life. Barabbas and the devil came to take life. They came to steal. He was a thief and a murderer. But Jesus came to give life, to give his own life, so that you and I could be free and have life more abundantly. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see y'all next time. God bless.